But what I want you to do is imagine, and I'm sorry that a lot of the things that we try to imagine for the future look a bit millennial, so to speak, but I try to think about the way that technology can help us solve problems in the future. So imagine a fire. And there's people in the fire. I'm hoping I don't get caught out for using the towering inferno. I should ask you, do you recognise this? There'll be other images. There's one I'm sure you'll recognise. But there's people in the fire and they have wearable technology. How many of you guys have Fitbits or things which track your heart rate and that sort of thing? Well, everybody now in the fire has got something which is tracking their vital signs. So this is monitoring their pulse. It might monitor other things. Collected when they're resting. Because we need to know, is this person showing any signs of not being at rest, being disturbed, whatever, because then we know that they're in trouble. But we've got lots of them. Lots of people in the room. We can track all of their, in the fire, we can track their vital signs. They may have other things that are wrong with them. Other reasons that we need to think about that. But this is all stored on their watch and we can see it. Okay, so that's the people in the fire. Now, the firefighters. So they're coming along to the fire. They're in their fire engine. And they have wearable technology. So as they go into the fire, people are going to be able to see what their physical responses are. They will have a full dashboard. And somebody can watch exactly what's happening to the firefighters, looking at them for signs of stress or whatever may be happening to them. So I know I'm not supposed to get too technical, but the idea is that this wristwatch learned me. And so that's a little neural network, my wristwatch, and then on board the fire engine or this thing that's coming to the fire, there's another neural network. And each of these firefighters has also been learned. So the neural network knows about them and it sees all the people inside the fire. So what is required is a learning algorithm, something which can learn what we're like and learn how we interact and learn things like that. Plus, when we get to the fire, for instance, we will know the layout of the floor for the building. So as we get there, there can be a plan formed for which firefighter goes to get which person. Okay, because it's been optimised for the features of the people in the building, for the features of the firefighters. Some mathematical algorithm runs and it says, okay, you go and get this person, you get this person. To rescue them as fast as possible. That's the goal. However, suppose the situation changes. So actually, dynamically as we go along, something happens. One of the firefighters suddenly gets very, very anxious and their thinking starts to go haywire and they say, okay, this firefighter's coming out now. We have to recompute. Now that's something that needs to happen really quickly. And any of you watch this programme? Here's a test for you. What's this? Scorpion. Yeah, one of my favourite programmes. This guy here, if my little pointer works, this guy Sly, he can calculate the percentage likelihood of something in a nanosecond. All right, so it's really interesting. It's 92% sure that blah, 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 blah. Humans can't do that. Not my experience of humans can they do that. So, but we really need to recompute, and we need to recompute in real time as those people are going through the building. You can imagine in a smart buildings world as well, they may have goggles, virtual reality goggles, which actually show them the building because they can't see it because it's fire and there's smoke. Okay, the building may have sensors in it which tells them about the structural integrity of various bits of building. So it might have had to route them around the building in a particular sort of way. I thought he was waving at me, he says, you've been going 5 minutes. Okay. Good. Dynamic real-time decision making. That's a crucial thing. But one of the things that I don't think we're thinking about enough is the moral dimension. So if we look at things like, any of you are fans of Terminator and the rise of the machines and this sort of thing, I think we're approaching the point where we will try to put our moral values into algorithms. Women and children first, for instance, is a moral standpoint. It's an ethical decision that we're going to do this rather than that. And when we make decisions, we might decide to code that. Okay, we're going to let the older people die. We're going for the children, for instance. And what's interesting is, and it's a little bit like many things, there will be unintended consequences to that, because we'll never see all the scenarios as they evolve. So we need to explore all the potential things that may happen when we start to build decision-making methods like this, which I genuinely think are coming. So the question is, how far will this go? So, for instance, we might have an outbreak of Ebola in Leicester. Is it possible, and I think it is, we're wearing technology, it starts to see the temperatures rising of a group of people inside Leicester, or it starts to see their heartbeats accelerating, or there'll be some sign of something bad happening. The question is then, what decisions do we make? Do we decide to make a perimeter, shut certain things down, put all these people on a bus, put them in a building? We'll have to start deciding what to try to do to these people. As we understand, illness is spreading. What decisions do we make? Public order? My idea is that you can actually see in a situation like this, you can detect the signs of an emerging riot. Okay, there'll be signals of it in the crowd. My idea is we should have drones. You might not like this, but we have drones that come in with water cannons. Right? And when we see the signs, we start firing water at them to put them off rioting. I don't really believe that, by the way, but I thought we'd better have a debate later, haven't we? Let me say something controversial. But who can take the data from the sensors? Okay? This is one of the key roles of the data scientist, to actually start to understand how to collect the right sort of data. Only collect what's needed, because your brain does that already. Any of you have seen that really interesting thing with the basketball players and the gorilla? Right? And it's amazing. Your brain already filters out so much stuff. So we don't need all the data, we just need to know what data. Was that 10 minutes? No, she twitched. Okay. And then we need to create algorithms which try to learn from the data. Then we need to make sure that we can implement those algorithms so that they run fast enough for real-time decision making. So you can see there's a whole bunch of things that we need to be able to do in order to see the future of technologies like this actually helping us be healthier, be safer, be smarter in some ways. So now here comes the question: are we developing the right people? So I'm going straight back to what I thought it was a pretty poor TED, actually. I have to say, I didn't think it was very. You were all laughing, were you, at that guy? I thought they've got a professional comedian in just to make us feel bad, haven't they? Giving the talk. Anyway, I completely go along with all that he said. I couldn't find anything to disagree with him, especially about the professors living slightly to the right or left, whichever way it is. The need is huge. So these statistics I sometimes can't believe, but the estimate is 90% of data was generated in the last 3 years. It's almost impossible to believe. There are 3,000 jobs for basic data handling skills. So this is database. I'm not talking about the sort of skills required to solve some of the questions I was introducing earlier. And what are the main subjects that feed this area? We've got mathematics, that's my game, but physics, engineering and computer science. But I'm not sure that we have enough people coming through those directions, and one of the differences, we might be having lots of people coming that way, but I'm not sure that they've got the right breadth of skills to be doing what we need to have done. Because what sort of person do we need? Flexible problem solvers. Happy with complex, messy information. This is not the hallmark of a scientist. Scientists like cleanly described problems. Mathematicians are aren't they, Alan? The worst of this. We like everything needs to be perfectly well described, or else we get lost. Capable and he's communicating. This ability to communicate with the owners of the problem. If I can't understand them and they can't understand me, there's just no point. The ability to work in a team, but the ability to work tirelessly on your own and bash your head against a brick wall again and again and again. You need to be able to do that. Independence and resilience. So when I was trying to look for what is my image of the right set of skills, and I saw Everest recently, I thought, that's right, it's those mountain climbers. I think they're a bunch of numpties. I mean, who would put themselves in that situation? But still, I think they have the right spirit. We did it because it was there. But, and bad being in a university saying this, education seems to me, regardless of what was being said there. Oh, and by the way, I was in a talk last week where you do know Shakespeare wasn't Shakespeare, don't you? Shakespeare was actually that other guy, Christopher Marlowe. And we've got text analysis which strongly, very, very strongly suggests Shakespeare was Christopher Marlowe. So if you believe in data science, you're already thinking, so you can punch me later. The ability to learn seems to me to be the single most important thing. But current education, in my view, if we were looking for a paradigm, I think the educational paradigm is management now. Control and management. So if I look at what's happening to me inside the university, it looks to me as they want me to behave a certain way. And I'm not sure that's the right sort of thing. And we want students to behave a certain way. And a story about this, yesterday I was in UCL barking on about the same sort of thing. And there was a student interviewing me. And she said, we got given a problem to solve. And the lecturer said we could do what we liked. We thought, great, I can do what I like. And then we went and did stuff. And then the lecturer said to us, no, that's what I wanted. And they said, well, what did you want? Well, you haven't done enough of this. And she said, I got to the stage where I was really interested in pursuing this other line, but it wasn't going to be on the exam and it wasn't in the curriculum. And I thought, yeah, isn't it stupid? Isn't the curriculum stupid? It doesn't allow somebody to do what they want. It means that we told them what to do. What's the point in that? Where are we getting our flexible problem solvers if we keep telling them what to do? It doesn't make any sense to me. So, first of all, there's a belief, it seems to me, that if teachers do the right thing, the right consequences will come. But learning is non-linear, it's uncontrollable. So the idea that a teacher can control that, I think, is already wrong. But then, of course, they've got a set of management tools to control the controllers. And they're in the same boat. There's no way of controlling the controllers because we do what is in our hearts on the whole. We follow the way we want to be. So while they can try to control us, I don't give much chance for their success. And while we try and control the students, I don't give much chance for our success either. The students will do what they want to do. So here's a joke anyway. I think I've got 1 minute. Carry on.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll make my joke last. So, and maybe I can do some dancing now. So, why does the computer scientist confuse Christmas with Halloween? Okay, so, and you'll probably think, where's the joke in this? Anybody think it's funny? Anybody get it? I'm the only bleeding geek in the room, it turns out.
Is that a hex thing?
Hex is base 16, isn't it? Oct.
So it's on the octal hex, I thought.
Yes. So yes, 3-1 in oct is base 8 is 25, which is the same as 25 in decimals. So that's ho, ho, ho. So my conclusion. First of all, actually, listening to the other thing, it's not just belonging to the geeks. But yes, the future belongs to I'm a geek, so let the future be with me. But we need people. EQ is a sort of this emotional intelligence. So people need to have that as well as this other thing. I saw something fascinating. This person, has anybody been watching The Voice? Yeah, that girl who's more intelligent than Einstein. What does that tell you? The intelligence test is stupid. It tells us nothing about it. Are you really saying you're more intelligent than Einstein? I don't think so. You just got the wrong measure. So anyway, that's quite interesting. And I think, as I said before, management, and I think this is happening in the National Health Service, in schools, in anywhere where what's the word, public service type things, I think management has become the main paradigm. What is controllable? And back to the thing, the idea, I think, that school isn't for creating a workforce. School is for keeping children off the streets. That's what it's for, while parents go to work. I think that's become its main purpose. But I think there's real hope. And my hope is attached to the fact that with fantastic technology that we've got now, and the free availability of information, that we'll be able to do things in a much more democratic way. And the main thing is to try to try to ignore the people who would seek to control us. And that's it.